Okay, everybody, so we're going to start by preparing for this trigonometry test review by reminding ourselves about the unit circle. So I'm going to go slowly over this as though you haven't seen it before. Here we have the circle. The fact that it's called a unit circle means that its radius is 1. Okay, that is specifically defined when we're talking about the unit circle. So from here to here, it has a radius of 1, and we're also putting it on the coordinate plane. So it's as though we have an x-axis and y-axis. Okay, I'm going to start by listing the degree measure of each of the points on here. So first, this is at 0 degrees. If I rise up here, it's 30 degrees. I'm going to skip the middle one, and this is another 30, so the 60 degrees. I'm just counting by 30s as I go around. This one is at 90 degrees, 120 degrees, 150 degrees, and we know this, that a straight line makes 180 degrees, and it's following that pattern of counting by 30s all the way around. Okay, then down here we would get 210 degrees, skip the middle one, and we get 240 degrees, 270 degrees, 300 degrees, 330, and if we went all the way around the circle, we'd end up at 360 degrees. Okay, now the middle spots. This is halfway between 0 and 90 degrees, so it is 45 degrees. And that's, each of these is going to be halfway between. So if I take 90 plus 45, I'll get this measure, 135. 180 plus 45, it's going to be 225. And 270 plus 45, it's going to be 315 degrees. Sorry, not all of it is showing up. Okay, so there we go in degrees. Let's name the coordinates next at some of these points. So this one, here's the origin. We go to the right 1 unit and up or down 0. Okay, this one right here, we go right or left 0, but up 1 unit, so it's 0, 1. This one we go left 1 unit, up or down 0. And this one at the bottom, we go 0 and then down 1. Okay, now our 30-60 triangle, 30-60-90 triangle is going to come in handy for finding the coordinates of this point. And I'll just draw on this first one and we'll get started. So here's our 30-degree angle. We've named it over here. That means this angle is 60 degrees and that one's 90. So on a 30-60-90 we have a short leg and a long leg and the hypotenuse. Since the hypotenuse is 1, that means that the short leg is going to be half that length, so it's 1/2. And the long leg is that length. It's the short leg times √3. So it's √3 over 2. So as we name this coordinate, we're going to the right √3 over 2 units and going up 1/2 unit. So that's how we can name the coordinates at that point on a unit circle. Okay, if we were doing this one, let's pick a different color. 30-60-90. Now we have a 60-degree angle right here, 30-degree angle right here. This one's 90. So again, the hypotenuse is 1. The short leg is half of the hypotenuse, so 1/2, and the long leg is the short leg times √3. So it's √3 over 2. So now we're going to the right 1/2 units and up √3 over 2 units. Half and √3 over 2. Okay, I guess I'll keep using this orange color for these because here we would make another 30-60-90 and we'd go left the short leg, up the long leg. So left, -1/2, up √3 over 2. Okay, let's do the 150-degree angle. Here we've got the long leg left, then up the short leg. So -√3 over 2, up 1/2. Okay, here for this point, we're going left the long leg, down the short leg, so they'll both be negative, negative root 3 over 2, negative 1/2. And for this point, we're going left the short leg, down the long leg, so negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. Okay, at this spot, we're going right the short leg, down the long leg, so positive 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. And for this spot, we're going right the long leg, down the short leg, so right root 3 over 2, down 1/2. Okay, that's almost all of the coordinates. Let's finish off these other ones where we have the 45-degree angle. So if one of the angles is 45 degrees and one is 90 degrees, then the other must also be 45, and we have ourselves an isosceles triangle. So again, our hypotenuse is the radius, which is length 1, and we have discovered this in the past. You can check it out for yourself if you want. You could do x squared plus x squared equals 1 squared, and you would find that each of the legs, they'll be the same, is root 2 over 2. So that's going to be our coordinates right here. At this spot, we go left and then up, so negative root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. And down here we go left and then down, so they're both negative. And right here we go right and then down, so positive root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. Okay, we're almost there. Let's go ahead and do the radians now around the circle. We've got degrees, let's do radians. So right here, we're at 0 radians, but if we go all the way around the circle, remember when we cut out the radiuses and measured all the way around, it was 6 and a little, which is the same as 2 pi. Since pi is 3.14, it was about 6.28. So if all the way around the circle is 2 pi, then halfway around the circle is 1 pi. Half of that length is going to be pi halves. And pi plus 1/2 is going to be 3 pi halves down here. Okay, then the 30, 60, 90, etc., those angles, that cuts this top part into 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're taking pi and cutting it into sixths. So we get pi sixths. This spot's going to be 2 pi sixths, and 2 sixths reduces to 1/3, so it's going to be pi thirds. I gotta let my dog out just a sec. Okay, 2 pi sixths, 3 pi sixths, 3 sixths is 1/2. 4 pi sixths, 4 sixths is 2/3, so we've got 2 pi thirds. 5 pi sixths doesn't reduce. And 6 pi sixths, which is just 1 pi. Then we keep counting. 7 pi sixths doesn't reduce. 8 pi sixths is the same as 4 pi thirds. 8 sixths is 4/3. 9 pi sixths is 3 halves. 10 pi sixths is going to be 5 pi thirds. And finally we have 11 pi sixths at that spot. I think there's a skunk outside. That smells gross. Okay, now if we were to cut this top portion into 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, that's how we can hit these 45-degree angles, is this one's at pi fourths. This one is 2 pi fourths, or pi halves, 3 pi fourths, sorry, 4 pi fourths, which is pi, 5 pi fourths, 6 pi fourths is 3 pi halves, and 7 pi fourths. As we finish it up, we'd have 8 pi fourths, which is the same as 2 pi. So here's our unit circle. Remember that, well, pause there.